Today at E-MTB Review, I'm going to give you my first impressions, my raw insight on this fascinating new bike, the Trek Fuel EXe. This is the most interesting model of the line, I think. It is the 9.7. It is only 7,600 bucks. Only. It's a lot of money, but for an e-bike with groundbreaking technology, that's pretty darn good. They worked with a German manufacturer to develop this motor, and this motor is insane. So it's lighter than the Levo SL motor, as small as that is. But what's unusual is its shape. Its shape is like this, so it's very easy to hide. And what they did, that's really fascinating, problems of these motors usually happen with the gear reduction. Gear reduction with gears, they make a lot of noise, sometimes they break and rattle, or gear reduction with a belt. The belt is more quiet, but it can break. They have this weird eccentric gear reduction that it's so weird. It goes like this, and the outside gear turns. So it reduces the gearing, but also it doesn't make any noise. So fascinating what they did. So that's the heart of the system, and they developed the battery, electronics, the app, everything that goes along with it. The motor is small. It is dead quiet. You know, the Levo is quiet, and that's why it's so successful. And the Shimano EP8, uphill at least, is very quiet, especially on eco and trail mode. This thing is at another level because you can't hear it. So really fascinating motor. They have a display here that is crazy. You know, it's as big as it needs to be, and it's seamless. You know, no edges, crazy. And on the $7,600 version, it's included, configurable, and it has an app. The app, you know, you could do the world with it. A lot more powerful than the Shimano app. The motor too. There's 3 configurations on the motor to define how it comes on. So the next observation about the bike is the physical appearance of the fuel. It doesn't look like the old fuels where it's kind of skinny, kind of stealth. This thing is beefy. You know, you look at the links, you look at the chainstay, the whole thing is beef. And I think what they're trying to do, they're trying to blend in with the down tube, which hosts the battery. 360 watt hour is this battery. So the whole thing just looks like a bike. With big tubes. And I think the side effect though, it's very stiff, very impressive. Normally it has a 35mm bar. We changed it out for personal preference, but really good. Big diameter too on the seat post. Very nice performing on this one. So the geometry on this one, 64.7 and 76.7. So amazing, very modern, and you can change it with a Minolink. They say too, when you're on the high mode, so I'm the low mode right now, when you're in the high mode, you can even put a mullet if you want. It comes with 140, 150 travel. Right now we're trying 160 travel, so pretty capable little beast. To what I love and what I don't love. So what I love is the ride quality. The ride quality is unbelievable. The biggest problem of e-bikes right now, aside from the weight and the appearance, is they don't ride as well as analog bikes. And really, the non-e-bikes, they stop quicker, they corner a little more agile, and they jump higher. They do, and they pop, they pump terrain better, they do everything a little better, except they're not as planted. These things, the e-bikes are planted. So that's kind of what these bikes are trying to bridge the gap on, is ride quality. And this thing, everything I said, it does well. It does better, definitely than the rail, especially for terrain like this, you know. If you have the super gnarly terrain, you know, yeah, you get the 160, 170, 170 travel, Kenevo. But for here, this thing, you'll see hopefully in my video how high I jump. I don't normally jump that high on an e-bike, but I'm like, oh shit, dead sailor. So amazing, amazing ride quality. The way the motor comes on is really seamless. You can't feel it and you can't hear it. That's really amazing. It rides like a natural bike. Okay, I'll get to the side that I don't like. What I don't like is, especially in box stock configuration, it didn't ride like an e-bike. Meaning, I kind of like an e-bike too, right? One, when I'm dead tired, I'm trying to get home, I still have 5 bars left. Give me a boost, give me a ride, my friend. The other is I'm trying to keep up with my 5 e-bike buddies. I have now 100 e-bike buddies. And then when they're going, you know, I like to get my workouts. I like to work harder than them, but I want to be able to keep up as well. And this one, it doesn't give you that surge, that boost. Before you have to get the RPMs up before it'll give you its whole 50 Newton meters or 350 watts. And so you have to work hard, you know, which is okay, but most of the time, but maybe not all the time. But luckily, with the app, I was able to configure the boost mode or the turbo mode all the way. So all 3 sliders I pegged to the right, full wattage, full support, full anticipation. So it improved, but it's really not to the level of even on Orbea Rise. Okay, the other really interesting characteristic about this bike is the carryover of the motor. When you stop pedaling, how long does the motor stay on before it shuts off? By law, I think it's 100 milliseconds or 200 milliseconds. And some manufacturers, I think specialized, go a little bit over, so you have a little bit of carry through, which is really good when the terrain's really bumpy, you know. And what happens is a lot of manufacturers, they make their cranks so small because you're hitting your cranks all the time, right? It's good to have a little bit motor until you can pick up the cranks again. So important for rocky terrain. This thing shuts off almost immediately. So very natural. You can really control the cadence. Probably good for switchbacks and whatnot. But it is tough. It's a little bit unusual. It's a lot like the Rocky Mountain. They want you to be able to maintain traction on ice. Such a quick shut-off allows you to do that. That's it for now. The Shimano components, unreal, but you know, it's about the bike. 7,600 bucks. The top model is 14,000, pretty much 14,000. Same frame and same motor as this one, so definitely go for the lower price ones. You know, the burly components are better anyway for the power of the motor. But that's the first impression, first scoop. I'd love to share with you more. I'm going to compare this to the Levo Sal, Kenevo Sal, Orbea Rise Aluminum, all my favorites. All right, guys, enjoy the forest. Thank you. Let's go on a test ride on this day. We had the Orbea Rise Aluminum and the Trek Fuel EXe all day. And here are our fuel impressions. Here is the climb. So this is full boost, full rider output, full motor output. You can hardly hear it. We got the camera down low. You can't even hear it. So now let's do some rough terrain and a few jumps. The bike is very supportive. Some say firm. Designed to be lively. And literally, he was doing jumps. Right there, even though we're a little tentative on the bike, it was really just a delight. A real delight to jump, to turn, to carve. A true mountain bike with a helping hand along the way. Rough terrain, smooth terrain, very lively performance. It likes to dance. And finally, here on a steep climb on a road full power, could barely hear the motor. So we go beside an Orbea Rise RS. You can hear his motor, EP8, but we can't hear ours. And I do a full sprint here to the corner. I can hear it a little bit, motor, but really I hear the tires a lot more. So that's just a quickie. We'll have the full length video on this one coming shortly on E-MTB review.